14 room. 14.
Everything I've worked for nothing.
Ducheski.
For a moment, I believed I finally had what I wanted. Ugh, what waste.
You apologize.
Waste.
Legendary hunter with no mercy. We will not let the sacrifice of St. Leopold be in vain. The vampire watches the counselor from the shadows of the conference room. An abandoned table and the boxes of a colleague that no longer works there are the only objects that should be hiding her from the counselor as she puts out 3 chairs in the middle of the room. Grabs a 4th one. 4 chairs in the middle of the room. She should be seen, but she's not. The vampire is slowly getting used to this. The counselor shrugs a little bit, looks around, almost self-conscious for a moment. Then she starts ordering her notes and sits down on a chair and waits for her 2 clients to be checked out of their cells and guided to the counseling room. It takes all Francis' will to roll up the piece of cloth and put it inside the lining of his government issue shorts. The words written in blood, the only remnant of a memory that fades as quickly as sun rises. The talks yesterday with the counselor are remembered, but the conclusion is clear. You made an error and you're rightfully incarcerated. Another session awaits today. For Paul, the prayer was soothing and sleep came. Routine has become a crutch. But now with the transfer to a new prison, the routine is gone. It's almost like you're waking up again, thinking, drawing conclusions, reevaluating, reassessing. But still, it was your responsibility, your botched operations, and you now bear the shame and the burden. Another session of self-recrimination and terrible insights await. There's a buzz just before the unlocking of your 2 cell doors, and from the 2 C and D blocks respectively, start making your way past the checkpoints doors. Other inmates look out at you from glass panes or bars. Francis, how do you meet their gaze as they look straight into your eyes?
I don't need to look at these people. I know I'm not supposed to be here.
It makes walking bearable. Perhaps a bit hard to maneuver, but that's better. Looking into their hard eyes. Each one of them imagining something about you.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. P. Killer, come on! There's a rattling in the cages. Paul, Cop Killer Paul. You don't have to meet their eyes in order to know what you are to them. So, how do you make your way through the prison, Paul?
I'm a bit in my own mind. The man suddenly showed up in the cell, telling me he had killed someone and broken his tenants in order to reach me. Is this the beginning of a sign of why, of what the Lord has in plan for me? I'm pulled out momentarily as I hear the calling of the inmates, and I look at them absent-mindedly as my mind is still somewhere else.
Yes. The words of the stranger, the tattooed stranger, rang true. But have you revisited your Sunday schooling, your catechisms, and your knowledge of the history of the faith? And as far as you know, there is no Saint Leopold. Some lesser, different thinkers, mostly northern Italy, of that name, but no saint. But it rang very true.
What did you mean by that? Is that another... Was he just rambling? No, it seemed like he had something in mind. But I wonder, is this a temptation? To turn to a quick hope? I can't be sure yet.
Yet the last years of the prisoners start to fade away as you make your way to the second floor, where the administrative unit of the prison is located. You pass through the door to the counseling room simultaneously this time. You meet each other in the hall. There's a receptionist outside. The receptionist constantly observes you. There's a green light that lights up over the door to the counseling room.
Morning, Francis.
Morning. I'm seeming a little glower in disposition.
Ducheski. 14 group. The name of a specific hemoglobin binder.
Yes. I don't suppose that's been illuminated to me what that could mean, so I might be dwelling on it, but I'll then just look to Paul after a pause and say, so I suppose they're going to give us another therapy session. How wonderful.
Yes, I suppose so. I don't know why they are bothering, to be honest. We're not here as in an asylum.
Well, maybe we could be moved to one. That could be amusing, I suppose.
You sound almost hopeful.
Well, I might get out quicker if I'm classified as sane.
You being treated all right? How's your inmate? How's your cellmate?
I don't really talk to them much, if I'm honest, and yes, I'm absolutely fine. Again, it's all just a bit of a colossal fuck-up, isn't it?
I look at you, looking slightly concerned, but your words seem to relieve me. Ah, good. You don't deserve to be in here.
Well, you didn't really deserve to be here either, Paul. Circumstance was against us in a lot of ways.
I sigh and look down at my feet, but I don't say anything to that.
They should be in here now any moment. The clock you're looking at was your grandfather's. He never kept it in his desk. He never kept it on his person. He always kept it in front of him on a chair by the side or hanging on some ornament in the room he was in at the time. He never forgot it in a room. It was part of his discipline, his mentalism, as he called it. It allowed him to focus, he said, You almost think that the clock arms stop there for seconds longer than they should. They should be here any moment now. They're late. And Madeleine, you look at your notes. Mostly the behavior of Gabriel Ellis is the things that are questioning you.
Yes.
Last known about whereabouts.
Yes, we wanted to question Alice, but then we lost track of her. I wonder if maybe her colleagues know something they're not telling.
You don't deserve to be in here.
Is that them now?
You deserve to be here, Paul.
It is. You can hear their voices outside the door.
I get up and open the door and let them in. Gentlemen, welcome back. Do come in and sit down.
I nod towards her and I come in to take my seat.
I frown, give a basic nod, and then enter myself, stiffly sitting in a seat.
All the seats but one are taken in the small circle in the middle of the room. It's a side table by the counselor's side. Her notes are ordered. The light is dour and glares a bit. It smells slightly of fresh paint somewhere. Fresh paint and toilet cleaner.
So, last time we talked about the things you had gone through with that terrible attack, and how you felt about it now, and how you thought about it, and what it wasn't. And I thought perhaps this time we should talk some more about that and what it was. So, have your thoughts on the subject changed any?
Overnight, I sit there crossed arms.
Yes, well, it's important to know if your view of reality is stable or not. You understand?
I send a wry smile towards Francis regarding what we just said earlier. I think my grip on reality is quite grounded. Thank you.
Agreed. As we've said, we were under specific influences. They would make anyone question their perception.
Yes.
You can almost hear Alice, how she would snort and laugh a little derisively with an eye roll. It's almost like you hear the snicker in the room.
Well, it's what we said. Gilberts knew. He knew some cops were on the landlord's payroll, and he and Gabrielle, they somehow led the rest of us to think that the landlord was a blank body.
What's a blank body now?
It's a code word for terrorist. It's something we use in the department. Sorry, a slip of the tongue.
I understand. Sergeant Ellis.
Yeah.
Do you, how do you feel about her now?
Feel?
Yes.
I feel betrayed, I guess. We worked together for so long. I wanted to believe. just really wanted to believe that what she said was true. She's a good cop. She did good things. She did it her way, but she always came through, and she seemed to always be loyal to the group, to whoever was close to her. She didn't have anyone else. And somehow that, I don't know, that shifted. Somehow she found new allegiances, something that mattered more, and I suppose I was too blind to see that. It's my own stupidity, my own naivete that brought us to this place today. And I am willing to pay for it. I looked down into the floor.
As for myself, well, what can I say that Paul didn't just say? I feel disappointed mainly in myself. She was indeed a very good officer. That's probably why she was so easy. It's probably why it was so easy for her to manipulate us, as she did. I suppose there's nothing more to add, really.
Yes, so Sergeant Ellis tricked you, and on purpose or not on purpose, and led you to commit some terrible mistakes. But is that really what happened?
I look up and squint at her. What do you mean? Played this over 100 times in my head already. When Gilberts got shipped out, I don't know. Even at the scene, there was one of them there, one from another faction. I look straining, as if it's hard to remember. He came, he gave her something? I don't know, some kind of communication, some kind of symbol. And then it all happened. So we broke into the room and we found them there, the ones trying to break free from this landlord. And we were all set on a fight, and that's what we had.
Yes, your memories are hazy now. It's not uncommon when you've been through something like that.
No, it's not. I should know. I lean forward then at the table slightly. So tell me, Counsellor, what are you getting at, please? Are you implying what? That maybe Ellis was being manipulated herself? Again, we've been over this. She was in too deep from the very beginning to be completely blameless, even if she was, I don't know, maybe working for Khan the whole time.
I look up at the calendar on the wall. October 2009. It's been 6 months. What date is it?
It's the October 27th.
So go on then, Counsellor. What's the next question? Come on, hurry up. Haven't got all day. Got walls to stare at.
I think we need to return to the scene again. And
don't you just have recordings? There were cameras on one of our boys at least, maybe two.
yes, but I know what happened, but the thing is, I don't think that you really do.
Oh, really?
Well then, pray tell, what happened? You seem to be implying that you're the one who knows. So tell us what happened and what we're saying that goes against it then. Let's start from there.
I step up from the shadows that I've been standing in and say, let me tell you what actually happened. Gentlemen?
I shift around. I look at you. I look at Madeleine, Francis. What is this supposed to mean?
I shoot Ellis a venomous glare as I sort of sit there, and I just remark to the counsellor, "Oh, so she's no longer under arrest. Wonderful."
I look at Madeleine and say, don't do anything, just sit down. I am faster than you.
The shiver. Your granddad told you about it. Say it's always the same, no matter what it is. An old curse that makes itself known. Animal that changes shape into man. Or this. Something invisible becoming visible. There it is. The arcane. And there she is. The last piece of the puzzle.
I sit down.
Good. Thank you. And you sit down too. Paul, no heroics. Francis, just be calm.
I didn't even notice myself that I was standing up, but I was with a hand on the chair, my still injured leg giving a bit of a shake as the adrenaline started to pump. And I nod slowly and I sit down. What's the meaning of this?
I'm here to get you out.
Get us out.
Yes.
Well, get Francis out. You can leave me.
I start looking around at the ceilings and I say then to the counsellor, "Are the cameras still on? Are we being watched in this room? Something tells me that... Something tells me you're not supposed to be here, Alice."
I'm not. Maybe I have tampered with the cameras.
Yeah, that was weird. As you tampered with them, they were not on.
We won't be disturbed here. There is no cameras. I understand that you have been fed some lies about me, about yourselves. Probably with some kind of what you would call supernatural abilities. And things are not what you think they are. Do you believe me?
No.
I mean, you were not in this room until you made yourself shown. I saw how you did this back at base as well, and I've seen the effects of what... I don't know. I wanted to believe so many things.
The question... Did she use this power in room 406? The moments come flooding back, those memories you have visited 100 times. 1,000 times. Room 406. The towers. The landlord. They're all in the moment now, Madeleine. Maybe Alice is ready to tell her view of what happened in room 406.
Alice. Alice, please tell us. Please tell us how you remember it. Even my mind is a bit foggy. Do you remember it clearly?
Who are you, lady? I look at you, not very concerned with answering your questions. A bit blank in the face.
Yeah, you have seen this, Madeleine, once before, and once before only. And that was outside room 406. You still don't know who she is, but she was there. That's the first things the others have been forced not to remember. We're back in the moment. We're back in the moment now. It smells of cordite, of gunfire, of sweat and fear. Ellis, you have just been called out into the hallway by one of the team members. He taps the sound-blocking phones on his ears and points out into the hallway. There's a standoff in the room, but there's tactical intelligence to be had. As you follow him out into the hallway, there are lights coming up the stairs. Somebody is coming up. Rudy is in there with the landlord.
Yeah. Can I shut the door?
You can.
So, yeah, then I will shut the door and stand by it and see to that no one gets in and let him deal with it.
Up the stairs come a driver in a suit. He's scanning the landing, waving an arm. Up comes a woman, somewhere in her 50s, maybe 40s. In her hand, she holds another hand with long, well-shaped fingers attached to a toned arm. It's that smile, those eyes. Gilberts. The landlord's lover. A one who was whisked away from you. Your witness. The woman in her 50s. She carries herself with authority. How does she look? How is she dressed, and what's her poise as she stepped up the stairs?
She was wearing a nice dress suit with a checkered pattern, and she was looking somehow both afraid and incredibly interested in everything. Like she was swallowing up everything she saw with her eyes.
Gilberts looks at you, Ellis. Oh, hey there, girlfriend.
Gilbert?
Feels like forever, even though it was like day before yesterday. Is he in there?
You should leave. And who are you, lady?
No, I shouldn't leave. He shuts up and looks at Madeleine like he remembered that he was supposed to shut up.
Sergeant Ellis, you shouldn't be in this building.
Yeah, I'm blocking the door. Very casually leaning towards it with my arms crossed.
It's not safe for any of us.
It's not safe for you.
No, I know. I shouldn't be here either, but I had to come. There's the only way. You have to drink some of Gilbert's blood. It'll make you immune against the mind control.
Gilberts looks at you in shock, in terror. No, you promised.
Just a little, no, William. It's gonna be fine.
I agreed to go on that. You liar. You're just like... He looks between the two women. Just like her. Just like them.
No, I'm not like them at all. I'm a researcher and I'm taking this very seriously, and it will just be a minor amount.
I want to roll insight to see if she's lying.
So how do you try to determine that? Is it your empathy, your quick watching of her micro reactions? How do you tell? How do you try to tell?
Good question. Maybe, watching her micro reactions. I mean, I have been in the company of liars.
Yeah, wits and insight. Then it's wits and insight.
Yes. 1. I'm gonna use a willpower and reroll. Still 1.
It's impossible. This woman believes what she's saying. That much is apparent in her body language, but many liars have convinced themselves of their lies.
But I have an ID. I'm not trying to fool anyone. look here. It says my name is Madeleine Boucourt. I'm a librarian.
I see. You should leave. I won't drink anyone's blood. I only drink dead blood. I look at Gilbert and smiles.
Gilbert smiles back. There's a keening scream from room 406. Someone is in pain. William startles and grabs your arm. Ellie's arm. You run or do what she says.
No.
I told you can't confront him as it is.
Well, I'm not right now. I am stopping you from getting into this room, and I'm not doing anything else.
There's a gunshot. There's a hole in the door beside your shoulder.
Who is shooting? For 1 second, I kind of tense, and then I look inside the door.
You take in the situation, and you see one of your teammates lying on the floor, half of the face gone. Across the room, the landlord is standing on his knees. A group of Rudy's rowdy boys surround him. Punks, religious men, street kids, chewing gum, chewing teenage girl. The Jamaican dock worker's gun is still smoking. One of the team members is slowly placing his gun on the floor. Paul and Francis are pinned down behind the sofa. Your team is outgunned.
What is Rudy doing? And the landlord?
Rudy is standing half visible behind the landlord. The landlord is on his knees. He has a gun pointed to his head and a knife to his throat. There's blood running down the side of his neck, and Rudy is hunched over, leaning forward across a chair. It looks like he's puking his guts out there in the back. He must have. And the landlord is humming softly. His fat body is shaking. It's like everything goes completely still after the gunshots. No one is gonna back down now. A police officer, uniformed and armed, is lying bleeding from a fatal head injury. Could possibly run and make it to the sofa. There must be 5, 6, 7 of them in there. Yeah, then you see one of them moving around, circling, training his gun at the hostage takers. 2 of them are shouting in maybe Persian, maybe Arabic. Can't make out what they're saying at all. Shouting at each other. If somebody screams back off, no one's backing off. No one is firing either at the moment, and that's lucky.
Then I shut the door as quickly as I can, and then I look at Madeleine and then at Gilbert and say, okay, I'm listening. You have 30 seconds.
The landlord, he is said to have a power that he can change how you remember things or change your opinions about things, and that makes him very dangerous. But you see, Gilberts is immune to this for some reason, and that immunity should be transferred to you, at least temporarily, if you just drink a bit.
How do you know this?
Oh, I've done research in this for many, many years.
And also because I told her. I've seen it happen. I've made it happen.
I'm sorry, there's not time to give you more extensive information. I wish I could, but...
No, it's fine. I need something, because something is going really, really south in there. So I just, without any further ado, I step up to Gilbert and just grabs his collar and push him to the wall.
He tenses first, preparing to resist. There's a moment where there's fire in his eyes, but then he takes a deep breath, and there's something almost loving in his eyes as he relaxes and relents and just gives into the moment, like he has so many, many, many times to so many, many people with so many reasons. He becomes pliant, almost pleasant in your arms. He holds your neck from the back and grabs it hard and shoves your face towards his throat.
Fuck. It's not right, and a sudden flash of fear that I will rip his fucking head off or kill him like I killed that poor boy in that alley, but I don't have time to do this kind of shit. I need to kind of drink and then go in and save my team, and that is what I focus on.
It's good, girlfriend. He pulls back his head, looks straight into your eyes, and says, I actually quite enjoy it.
I don't have time for this, I say to him, and then I bite down.
Yeah. I actually quite enjoy it, even with girls. Ow! Fuck! Oh! And then the pain becomes something else, and then he blocks his throat, biting down simultaneously on his own fingers as you chew and suck away. He glides a little bit down the wall, his sports jacket against the polished concrete wall.
A moment after, I lay my hand on the back of it, on Ellis's back, and lets her know that it's enough.
Yeah, I think I am quite focused on not getting lost in this wonderful thing and this wonderful blood that is living and amazing and fuck.
It's so present, it's right there. Most blood is deep things repeated again and again, codes and heartfelt moments and child's faces as they laugh the first time, or dying grandmother, or that remorse. But this is now, this is here, this is his feeling of bliss channeled straight towards you. Doesn't matter if the bliss is pretend or not, it's there. He feels this. You are safe, you're not a monster, you are bringing pleasure to someone. The consoling blood. Perfect blood. The guiltless blood.
It worked, didn't it? You remember things properly.
Yes.
Oh, I knew it would. But what happened after that?
The voices are getting more intense in there. No more gunshots, but the screaming is getting louder.
I pull myself away from Gilbert.
He collapses, steadies himself on one knee, skids around a little bit, and started getting up, regaining composure.
Yeah. And I'm just checking if he's fine. I guess I kind of instinctively lick the wound shut. I didn't know that I knew that, but somehow it kind of makes sense. And then I actually want to rouse my dexterity, so I will be a better shot.
The moment is very much here. I will give you a bonus of 2 dice When you rouse the blood, when you rouse the blood of this moment, which is Gilbert's blood.
Yes. I succeed, so I don't get any hungrier. And I take a moment. I close my eyes. I feel the blood, his blood in me, and then I look at Madeleine and say, "Can you shoot, Madeleine?"
Not well.
Do you have a gun?
Not... Well... I have a small gun, but I take it out and try to pass it over to you.
Okay.
You take it.
Okay, I have my own gun, but when people are gonna come out from here and I want you to help them to get down.
Yes, of course.
Yes. Can you do that for me?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, wish me luck.
Good luck.
I just give you a weird shoot, like, who are you? kind of, but I don't have time for this. Francis and Paul are in there, and I'm gonna get them out if I so have to kind of launch at the landlord and push ourselves out of the window. That is what I will do. So I go in with my gun in my hand, and my main objective is get them the fuck out.
You enter forcefully. The door bangs open. You, Francis and Paul, immediately hear it. The assailants apparently observe it, because the one with the AK-47, gets down on his knees to stabilize the shot and readies it. 2 more are throwing themselves out of the way. 1/3 one is peeking around the corner. One of Rudy's boys, in a bomber jacket and a short mohawk, takes the opportunity to stab one of the ones holding the landlord prisoner with a knife. Chaos is going down before you, as your entrance has the desired result. You have the situation under control, everything moves with purpose. You're in the doorway with your gun out, Alice.
Yes. And there was one person who has the gun that shot someone.
It's the AK that fired the shot.
Yeah, I will take out that first, with as effective and fast as I can.
Without aiming, you squeeze away.
4 successes.
And down he goes. It's not that he bounces back or anything, he more leans forward over the wound, and the AK goes off into the floor, ripping out the piece of carpet. But then he just kind of hunches over and breathes heavily once and is still. The knife connects, someone is screaming, the landlord still on his knees. 2 shots. One hits Rudy in the back. He screams in Danish. Confusion. But the gun is down. The landlord is unprotected. The girl with a knife to his throat has lost her nerve and is backing off. He is unprotected.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the chronicle No Man is an Island for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition. Our storyteller was Martin Ericsson, and we were also joined by Anna-Karin Linder. The music was created by Lola Zaza, and the sound effects are from the fine folks at freesound.org and Sirenscape. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, and David Hagberg for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. And remember, death is not the end.